we have had the opportunity to partner with an absolutely fantastic brand, Mishmash Adventures in Fox Valley Mall in Aurora, Illinois.
What is Mishmash, you might ask?
It's kind of like a real-life Double Dare, American Gladiators, and Legends of the Hidden Temple. Let's just say a playground for grown-ups.
You can expect at least 1 to 2 hours of high-intensity fun where teams work together to complete the challenges that are hidden behind every door.
Use promo code YBI15 every time you go for an additional 15% off your experience.
Mishmash Adventures, guys. Go check it out. Go have a good time there. Remember to use that promo code YBI15 and make sure you show them that we're always young, broke, and always investing over there at Mishmash Adventures. All right, guys, welcome to YBI. We got our special episode for you all here today. We got Roman and Zion here, your hosts. We're going to talk to you guys about this little financial wealth and well-being for yourselves here today. We had a small business.
Yes, today is the small business episode, and we have been graced by somebody who is tremendous. They have a brand new business, and we are super excited to have him on. Jim, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Excellent.
Busy as always.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to try to make this short and sweet for you. We'll get as much information as we can in the process. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business, Mishmash.
We were living in the Middle East, and there's a lot of similar concepts to this. Just like escape rooms started in Asia and worked away across Europe and then finally made it to the U.S., this is the next thing that's going to be hitting the U.S. So the idea, rather than a traditional escape room where you're stuck in one room for an hour, and there's always someone in your group who doesn't like it, or there's something that really doesn't fit with them, we tried to do something a little bit different where you try to do as many rooms as you can. Each of the rooms is only 3 to 5 minutes long, and we try to do as many as you can in an hour or 2 hours. And then instead of just having logic games, because some people really like logic puzzles, but it's not for everybody. So we tried to do something a little bit that had some physical challenges, some floor is lava challenges. Basically, we tried to create recess for adults, and took the inspiration from it from a lot of the movies and games that and game shows that we grew up with. All the Nickelodeon game shows like Double Dare and Legend of the Hidden Temple, American Gladiators. We try to take inspiration from that in our favorite movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Goonies, those kind of movies that we grew up with, and that, oh, that'd be so awesome to do, and built it in real life. Part of it was nostalgia that adults can share it with their kids. For people my age, can share it with the next generation for those kind of movies. And part of it was that as adults, we're not supposed to have recess anymore. So I tried to build somewhere where we could still have recess.
Yeah, and you've definitely accomplished that. If you guys can't tell, we are sitting in Mishmash right now. He's in one of the rooms, and aesthetically, it is super nice. We're in another room. I think we're in the library. You're in the cathedral, and they look spectacular. So kudos to you on making it look just beautiful in here. So what led to your decision to actually open Mishmash?
I've had this idea in the back of my head for several years. I used to own several haunted houses here in Chicago, both 11th hour and 13th floor, and I got bought out. That's a successful conclusion of a business is you bring it full cycle, you start it, and eventually sell it. So I got lucky enough that that one was sold. I had a non-compete for several years on what I could and couldn't do in relation to similar businesses. That non-compete is over. I'm back in Chicago, and there's no concerts this year. There's no special events and live events this year. So we decided to do this.
What sacrifices have you had to make financially for your choice to open up Mishmash?
My entire life savings and then some. So everything, all the money that I had left over from previous shows and previous events, every last penny has gone into this. It's meant dipping into my retirement savings, putting a lot onto my credit cards. Especially with COVID, this has gone a little bit further over budget than what was planned. All the material prices, COVID world, are in some cases double and triple what they were 12 months ago when we first planned this out and put a budget together. So yeah, it's everything financially is into it.
Got you. So you guys heard him. Make sure that you come here and check this out because it is phenomenal, and we just want to support the vision. I mean, I was here during the opening week, and it was fantastic, and it's only getting better. There are more rooms that are opening. They're all getting, he's in here all day long tinkering with things just to make sure that it is absolutely perfect. But what were some of the major misconceptions surrounding you opening Mishmash?
The biggest misconception is what people would do. When we first started this, we're going to open all the old rooms all at the same time, and it's going to be awesome. And then as soon as we started getting people in here, we realized what we thought people would do and what they really do, two totally different things. How people behave and interact with the touchscreens on the outside, how people interact with the sequence of unlocking a room and entering it, what their patience is for getting ready. All of those things we were completely wrong on. And then trying to find an average for everybody. We have some people come through, and the library you're sitting in is a perfect example. Some people come in and, oh, that's too easy, and they find it in seconds. They figure out the clue. Others try that room 10, 15, 20 times and can't ever solve it. The physical, the same thing. What is easy for one person is really difficult for another person, is really challenging for another person. But we wanted to make stuff where people could move, and trying to time that out to be a good average, that it's fun for everybody, has turned out to be a lot more difficult than we thought.
And I heard that you pretty much built most of this place yourself. What challenges and what success did you have just juggling both those things of opening this place?
There was a lot of juggling. So the day that our steel dropped, all these walls are prefab steel panels. The day that our steel got delivered, we were all excited. We had a bunch of welders lined up, a bunch of temp labor to do all the heavy manual lifting. And then COVID happened and the lockdown happened. And instead of having a team of labor to do it, it ended up being myself, one of our partners, and one of my friends welded together all of this. Well, it's supposed to be a 10-day welding project turned into 6 weeks of welding just to weld the infrastructure for it. And then materials started disappearing, and you just couldn't get things, especially things that came from China. And at the very beginning, everybody just wanted to stay on unemployment. Nobody wanted to work. Oh, this is only going to be a few weeks. We're going to take this extra time and just hang out and do nothing. And I still had a project that was moving forward. So we just ended up doing 12, 15, 18-hour days until we got it up.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy is that, I was in here and I was able to see that. And well, you guys have to wait and see. We're creating an ad so you guys can actually see some of these rooms, because all of the work and that you guys can really tell the quality of what's going into the rooms. So stay tuned, because we have an ad coming with Mishmash that we want to just, be able to show you guys everything that's going on in here, so you guys can see literally everything that he's talking about. You can see it in real life, and it looks fantastic. I can't say enough, personally, we bring on people that we actually believe in, and like I said, I came in and this is spectacular. Like, it really is something that you should be proud of. So for you, what are some of the successes that you feel like you found because you've opened the business?
People. The people that we've found to be involved and to contribute during the process have been incredible. We've been lucky enough. COVID both made this possible and impossible at the same time. So since we had such a hard time finding local labor, we ended up bringing out recent college grads from art schools and theater programs who normally would immediately get sucked up into some Broadway theme shop. But none of that happening this year. We were able to get some recent college grads who are great. Our other partners who are involved really went above and beyond, putting in just grunt work, labor in some cases. We were able to get talent and people in who we would have never been able to afford, and people who would have never considered doing this because of COVID. They weren't doing anything. So they were happy to come out and work with us and contribute, and they got to be creative as well. A lot of the ideas are mine, but not all of them. A lot of the scenic and all the cool artwork in the hallway is one of our partners, Mark, all of the music and all the composition in the room. Because of licensing issues with music, we created our own. And that was our partner, Herman, who sat down and he actually composed most of the tracks that are playing in all the rooms.
Nice.
Wow.
That's incredible how much teamwork just went into opening up this place.
So what advice do you have for people that are looking to open small businesses, especially within, the COVID realm that we're in now?
The first thing is put together a good budget and look for all of everybody hits those big ticket items and then they miss the little things, all the nickels and dimes. Everybody looks at the dollars, but the nickels and dimes are what are gonna break you. Literally the nuts and bolts that are 5 cents each. I've got thousands of them in here. So accounting for all of those tiny little expenses that you don't necessarily think of ahead of time. Get other people to look at every last little component that goes into it because you're gonna miss expenses. And then once you have that figured out and you're rock solid on it, add 20% because you missed stuff. No matter how good your budget is, you're wrong, prices change. To give you an example, when we started this, fire retardant plywood at the beginning of this project ran $16 a sheet. Today, it's about $39 a sheet. That's a massive price. That's literally doubling the price. We have 600 sheets of it inside of Mishmash here. We're horrible at estimating how long a task is going to take. How many times have you said, I'm going to do this. It's only going to take me 10 minutes, or if you're editing video or sound and putting your podcast together and you think it's going to take X amount of time. How much time does it really take? And you're probably learning that as you guys go, that it takes way more time than you think it does. Things like this too, especially when you're doing something brand new that's never been done. There's a learning curve and things always take longer. And if you're paying labor to do that, labor costs on top of it. So labor becomes much more expensive than you thought it would be.
Yeah, and every place I've kind of worked on, usually looks like your highest cost is usually labor, and then also like cost of rent as far as just rent or mortgages and things like that. What have you found to kind of keep yourself motivated through all this to kind of get this going and let this vision come to fruition?
I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by people who are really good at keeping me motivated on even the worst days. I've got my wife, Kathleen, is incredibly supportive. She's one of those glass is always half full. Look at take your moment to wallow in the suck. Okay, you got that moment, and then okay, what are the solutions, and what's the next step, and what's the next solution? People get stuck very easily on woe is me, I can't do this, and if you concentrate on those parts, you miss the solutions that come out of it, and you end up with lots of creative solutions that could possibly come out of it when you look for them. I've got one of our partners, Mark, who is a successful businessman. He's actually a dentist who owns several dental practices. He's been a great mentor as far as how to speak to people and how to conduct business, and having those mentors who are willing to give you 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, to advise you not just on the nuts and bolts of the business, but on how to conduct yourself, how to carry yourself, how to think about things, and how to look at things in different ways. All those little things add up really, really quickly. But surround yourself with positive people who are going to be looking for solutions. And when you have people, if you've got people who don't believe in your project, it's always good to have a devil's advocate, but you have to surround yourself by people who are going to want to see it through to the end and not give up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, people are obviously how we got into this business.
You gotta be a team.
you gotta have a solid team around you, which you do. I mean, we walk in here and we see Kathleen all the time, and she's fantastic. So what are some books, podcasts, YouTube channels, anything like that you would recommend for people that are, one, trying to financially be, more stable, or two, trying to open a small business right now?
The only podcast I listen to really regularly is Micro Works. Otherwise, Kathleen tends to dominate whatever's on the podcast, whatever she chooses. Anyone who's been married or had a long-term relationship realizes that she always gets to choose first. So that's just the way it works.
The way the cookie crumbles.
Exactly. No matter how much in charge you think you are, not really. I tend to listen to Mike Rowe Works a lot. There's a lot of things about work ethic, and he speaks a lot to skilled labor and to working businesses that don't necessarily require a degree. I'm a very blue collar person. I learned by doing. I did not go to business school. I came up as a paramedic. And if anyone knows paramedics or firefighters, we tend to work 24 on, 48 off schedules, and everybody has a side job or a side business, whether they're a carpenter or some sort of trade, or they all work an extra job. Mine, I ended up starting a business that built haunted houses, and I learned by doing it. And sometimes it's literally marketing for dummies. Sometimes it's a book on engineering or automation. I tend to go and explore whatever I need to learn in order to continue next. I didn't know enough about accounting. I went to college at DuPage and took an accounting class. I didn't know enough about metalworking and welding, and I felt like I was getting taken advantage of when I was hiring people. I went off to community college and took a class, so I knew how to do it. And it's hard to manage people that you have no clue what they do. How do you manage them or know that you're getting what you need? So whether that's picking up a book or taking a class at the community college that's in that field, or watching a YouTube video on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally how we just came out of the education episodes, the education series ourselves. And as you guys heard, I mean, just going to take a community college class, just one course, just to get exactly what you need and to continue moving on. But it's an investment in self, as we always say. Make the investments in yourself so you can actually create something like this and then watch that thing actually come to fruition, as Roman said.
Yeah, that was perfectly said right there. I think to close us out here, what would you feel like will be your kind of biggest advice that you can give to any small business owner for investment-wise, education-wise, to anything in that realm to give the people what they need to get started?
I believe strongly in habits. How you conduct yourself, how you work, how you train, it all comes down to habits, whether that is habits on how you spend money, how you save money, how you, what your work ethic is. It all comes down to habits. And it's really hard to form good habits. It's very easy to fall into being lazy, going out to the bar all the time, binging on Netflix. It's much more difficult to make yourself get up at 6 a.m. to go and work a job, or get up at 6 a.m. to go to the gym every day, or go for a run every day. All of those little habits, changing them exponentially, it grows. I save thousands of dollars a year by changing my coffee. Think about all the things that you do every day and where you spend your money. Changing the habits that you will change the way you spend, which change what you can save, which then lets you, whether you're opening a business or you want to go to school or you want to change your financial situation, it all comes down to habits.
Excellent advice.
Yeah.
We can shut it down there. We don't need anything else. Yeah, I think that's an excellent place for us to wrap up. Again, we just want to thank you so much. Mishmash is open now, located in Fox Valley Mall in Aurora, Illinois. Did we miss anything? What are your social media handles where people can follow you, website, all of that information? We're going to put it.
Mishmashadventures.com is the website. Mishmash Adventures on Facebook. It's on Instagram. All of the actual handles you got to get from Kathleen, because she's the PR. I got lucky. I married a PR executive, so that helps a little bit. I know enough about marketing and PR to get by, but she's the expert. So I just turned everything over to her. Plus, it works better if I just don't ask and let her do her thing.
Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. Just let them do it.
That's a good relationship advice. Is if you got someone who's better than you, let them stay out of their way and let them do their thing.
Excellent. So we will put all of that into the description below. But we just want to thank you so much for coming on, Jim, and Roman is going to take us out here.
All right, guys, like we said, like, share, subscribe. Put all the descriptions down below for you all. Remember, on YBI, we may be young, we may be broke, but we're always investing.
Always investing. Thank you guys so much. Till next time.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Young Broke and Investing. We just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts, are not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.